What is up, everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Simon Said, man. How's it going, bro?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing, man? How you doing, CG?
Oh, how's it going, Simus?
Good, good, good.
And we got a good matchup. We got a good rivalry coming up, man. And I like what you just said. This can have some meaning to what you just said. It can have a number one seed meaning to this game.
I believe that 100%.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. So, since we kind of been talking about this rivalry, man, this has been an old school rivalry that goes from the early 70s, man. I mean, you were around, so you had to see a lot of the success from the Cowboys' early years.
Oh yeah. The dawn of the 49er dynasty. From the catch to the dawn of the 49er dynasty, what I call the redemption of the 90s, the war of the 90s, the TO and the star. Yeah, I'm deeply entrenched into the Cowboy 4. It's a huge week. It's a huge week. Huge weekend, should I say. So yeah, it's big. And of course, you're in Central California. It's like a holiday for all of us. So
Yeah, it
yeah, man.
is.
It's like a holiday. Like seriously.
I mean, we're just right down the neck of the woods, man. At some point, we'll
Yeah.
probably need to link up at some point.
Oh,
But yeah,
definitely, definitely. I should have hit you up earlier to see if we could do this kind of live or something and work that out because it's big. Come when I first I didn't realize how big it was till we moved from Dallas to Cali, and it's just this day. Even I don't know if it's just the media hype behind it. Sunday Night Football. It's just like the energy is different. Like you a lot of friends have become rivals for this, and a lot of heavy trash talking. It's been funny. You see a random person at a liquor store, grocery store, you got on your shirt, they got on their shirt, something like that. You're gonna have some words or some funny words or become a friend. So it's just I can't speak for anywhere else, but in Cali, it's a holiday for us. Like
oh
the
yeah,
Cowboys and the Niners, it's a holiday.
yeah. It's one of those weeks, you know what I mean? So like you just said, when you catch somebody just wearing the different team, they'll give you that look and say, "Hey, we're gonna get you guys this week," and all
Yeah,
that stuff. I got a lot of phone calls from a lot of my buddies who just happened to be a Cowboys fan. So they were just talking about it, like, "Hey, we got you guys this week," and all that stuff. And then I was just talking to my mom, and then she's like saying, "It's gonna be a good game." You know what I mean?
yeah, man. It's gonna be a classic. I definitely believe it's going to be a classic. I don't on either end. I don't believe it's going to be a blowout. It's going to be a matchup of it's going to be a classic in our history.
It's
It's
gonna
going
be
to be a
one of those,
classic.
yeah,
Oh
and
man.
yeah.
Oh
Plus the rivalry. When you look at the rivalry, it's 19-19 in a tie, so
yeah,
it's kind of been evenly matched.
yeah. That's how we're talking amongst me and my friends, like my Niner writers. My Cowboy homeboys. It's like we don't say nothing else. 1919-1. 1919-1. Like no one's talking about. We know what happened in the postseason. We know that, but one of us gets that bragging right. Like we
Yeah.
get it. And that's to me, that's what it's about for this one. It's about getting that bragging right.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. Like I think this game, it may not have some meaningful to it, but it at least
Yeah.
gives you a chance to put you in position to get the top seed. So
Oh yeah.
oh you know what? Since we're talking about this matchup, man, we'll get to this topic. I like this question from a
Yeah.
Niners fan perspective. Hey Simons, how big of an impact do you think dynamic like Tony Pollard will have?
Honestly, against y'all defense, not much. Like not. I think that we going into this game. We want to get him. We want to get him going. But I know Fred Warner and them boys, Bosa and them boys. Man, they coming to stop that kid. Like it's on. We can go ahead and get into it. It's on
Yeah,
Dak Prescott. I
it's that.
believe. I was just saying yesterday, Dak Prescott versus Brock Purdy. Who's gonna blink first?
Yeah.
And
Well,
like that's everybody else. We know the usual suspects, the Pollards, the Lambs. We know that the Kettles, the CMCs, the Debos. We know that. It's which quarterback blinks first. It's going to be who screws up. I'm trying not to cuss, but who screws?
answer.
Okay, who fucks up first?
See, that's fine with me. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, it's like who's gonna fuck up first?
Yeah.
And I know CMC is not gonna screw up. I know Pollard is going into this game after breaking his leg in the divisional round game, and he can show that he can do it. CMC is an MVP candidate to me, top two.
Yeah.
So it's things like that. I already know what Pollard and CMC gonna bring to the game. Debo, Brandon Ayuk is a monster. I don't think Brandon Ayuk gets talked about a lot. I don't think Gallup gets the brand. Brendan Cooks gets talked about a lot, but we know those guys. But to me, if I had to break it down to two people that this is about, it's about who's gonna blink first. Is Dak gonna blink first, or is Brock Purdy gonna blink first?
Yeah, that's the question. Whoever makes the less mistakes, and like you just said,
Right.
like during the draft a few years ago, when those two receivers that you're mentioning about CD Lamb and Brandon Ayuk, a couple years ago, I wanted CD Lamb because of the Oklahoma connection, and plus he was a consistent wide receiver. But I wasn't feeling the Brandon Ayuk a couple years ago until I started seeing this guy play consistent, and I'm like saying, okay, he's not that bad. He's a yak guy, and he kind of plays
Definitely.
like a dog out there. But both of them are good. They're both
Oh
equal
yeah.
in the same.
Yeah. I when I went in going into the divisional round game, I had made on my video. I said, it's the only person that I could say that scares me was Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah,
He's that guy. When he starts going off, it's like that whole offense start clicking. It's
yeah,
weird.
he's kind of been the more consistent wide receiver. Everybody's talking about Debo, but Debo was just an all around type of receiver. He's more than just a receiver. He can run the ball too. So it's like, but I think what you're saying is Brandon Ayuk's a natural wide receiver.
Oh
Like he's
yeah,
a
100%.
yeah, he's a
He reminds me so much of John Taylor.
ooh John Taylor. Like we're going old school, man. Like
Yeah, he
a lot
reminds
of
me.
Rams fans hate that guy.
Listen. I always say when it comes, people ask me, when we talk rivalry, and I tell everybody, I hate the 49ers, but I respect them. And you guys are doing what I call championship football because you keep it in tradition. That guy right there is a cross of John Taylor and JJ Stokes.
Those
And
guys are yeah.
yeah, that's what to me, that's my personal opinion. He just reminds me of blend of John Taylor and JJ Stokes.
Oh
And
yeah.
he works his ass off, and it's scary. Like to me, just my opinion, more frightening than Debo. Like seriously, he just seems like he's more frightening than Debo to me. And someone that says something about Diggs, it's like, yeah, we got Deron Bland and he's doing a great job, but this is his second year. Where I hope we don't miss Diggs as much as I think we're gonna miss him in this game, because Bland, you got to go out there. You're gonna have to line up probably against Ayuk, and I don't know about that one. I'm not one of those Cowboy fans. I'm an honest Cowboy fan. I don't know about that one.
No,
So that's it's going to be kind of hard. We still trying to implement Stephon Gilmore into our system. It's working, but for the Cowboys, this is our like we've been saying, like I've been saying, the season starts tomorrow night. Like people have said, both these teams are beating up on a bunch of nobodies, and they've been kind of just like tiptoeing through it right now. And I know we're out there. And it's heads up. It's great player upon great player. So I can't wait to see this, bro. I'm extremely excited. I want to come on here and stick my chest out. Oh, Cowboys, we're gonna kick your ass. Nah, I'm not dumb.
I mean, we got to see how it plays out. But like, when I
Right.
look at CD Lamb, I just see more of a younger Hopkins, man. Like he just has that talent, like consistency. And then Pollard just, I don't know if Pollard keeps doing what he's doing, he might be like the younger DeMarco Murray. Like everybody knows what Murray was.
Right.
Murray was an all-around back.
Right.
That's what Pollard does. Like I remember a couple years ago, I remember saying, man, if they can get Pollard some more touches, maybe you guys be able to move the ball better. But
Right.
man, you guys let Zeke go. I don't know. The red zone's kind of been the issue, if I'm being honest with you. Like what's going on with that red zone offense, man? It's like ever since you guys got rid of Zeke and Kellen Moore, it's kind of been a suspect part of the game.
It's a process, and that's the thing that I keep explaining to people. And I'm not making excuses for the red zone woes, which is what it is. It's just Schottenheimer, McCarthy. They're gonna have to get it together with that. Tight ends have dropped touchdowns in the last couple of games. Lamb dropped a touchdown in the Arizona game, and that's why it doesn't look right. It's not making excuses. We definitely having problems running the ball in the red zone, which is odd as hell. But it's just going to take some time when you got pretty much your head coach is offensive coordinator. He has an assistant offensive coordinator, and Schottenheimer is good. You implementing this Texas Coast offense thing, which frankly, I'm not too impressed with right now. And it has nothing to do with the red zone problems, just the overall of it. It looks too conservative, looks too vanilla. And you're going up against a high octane 49er team that can move offense, defense, score points fast. And you got to be able to kick, you got to be able to keep up with that. Y'all are scoring touchdowns, we're kicking field goals. That's not going to win you games. So they really need to, tight ends need to catch the ball more. They dropped a lot. CD Lamb need to stop dropping passes when we need them the most, and it would be great to see guys like I would say, what is it, Kelvontae Terrapin. It'd be great to see him down there in the red zone. Maybe even Deuce Vaughn, since you're implementing Deuce Vaughn into it. Rico Dowdle. You got to add everything into your offensive weaponry, and not just rely on this one guy or that one guy. And Dak Prescott, he's had opportunities to run, and he's got to use his legs. He's got to go back to being, if not a full dual threat quarterback, use your dual threat capabilities to at least get touchdowns, run the ball when it's open instead of taking chances, throwing crazy passes in double and triple coverage. Get in the end zone, run, use your legs, don't be afraid, and score some touchdowns.
Yeah, you guys got to get a little more creative in the red zone. So that's
Oh,
been
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
Deuce Vaughn is kind of like he's kind of like a Darren Sproles, like Darren Sproles,
Yes.
small back. I think he can return kicks too. But Turpin, like you were talking about Turpin, you guys were kind of incorporate him in the offense a little bit, and he's kind of been very effective if you guys use him a lot in the running game. So it's like he can return kicks well. But when you kind of mix them in, maybe you might have some better results in the red zone if you throw them out there in some trickery plays or something.
Yeah, I agree. Like you got all this speed, use them to the best of your ability. You got Terrapin, you got Vaughn, you got Cooks. Use these guys. If you want to just stop the red zone talk, get your ass in the end zone. It's not hard, and you got the weapons to do it. And again, like I said, if Dak stop trying to be a pocket quarterback, that's not your game. You move around. You're a mobile guy. You're a dual threat guy. Use your legs. Like seriously, you got to use your legs more. You can't
Yeah,
just stand there when the pocket collapse and you just cave in. You got to move around. Like his sense of urgency is what concerns me, especially going into Sunday night. Like you really got to turn it on for, because to me technically it's a mid-season playoff game. It's going to say a lot going into November and December. It's going to say a lot. Like people think that it won't mean a lot. No, this has got top seed implications right now. You're running a gauntlet right now. So I need to see my quarterback do better. It's as simple as that.
yeah, you got to get very creative in those ways. And since we're going by what we've seen from those previous matchups, I mean, that's gonna have to be the main key for the Cowboys is being good in the red zone. You can't kick field goals like you just said. You got away with the Giants by doing that. You got away with
Right.
certain opponents.
Right.
But I've heard this type of situation, man. Like the Cardinals are just like your outliners, man. Like I guess Cardinals just seem to have your guys' number. So
Cardinals, Packers, they
yeah,
do. And I what going into going into tomorrow, I swear I say it all the time. The Cowboys, they always have that one game where no matter how good they look, if you go look at the losses, we got 12 wins in the last two seasons, but go look at some of those losses, especially the Jacksonville game last year. There's a moment that I was just talking about last night where you got to have the same old Cowboys. And that was that game. Like it's bound to happen. We always walk that line as a fan. Like I tell everybody, I think the Cowboys are one of the most bipolar teams in all of professional sports, and they have to have that one game. They did it. Now here we go. Sunday night football. A lot is on the line early, and for it's the seeding, for supremacy in the division, a lot of things for both teams, including the NFC as a whole, the NFC West and the NFC East. A lot of it. So I need our quarterback. There's no excuses. The whole offensive line is playing. You got all your receivers. You got Pollard. You got Dowdle. You got everybody. So what are you going to do? It's
Guys
on
gotta,
Dak. To me, it's on Dak Prescott. It's on
yeah,
Dak.
got to use his legs a little more because that's where we mostly struggle the most as mobile quarterbacks. If he can move a little bit more, then I think you guys can move down the field more. But
Yeah.
maybe like you said, maybe the way our linebackers they create fear a little bit. So since we're going by the previous games of what's going on, so I guess I don't think it has no big impact to the game, but I guess from the perspective getting the quarterback that we trade you guys, he's pretty much just giving you guys what you need to know. Like, what's your thoughts of Trey Lance giving out the info?
Happens all the time. Nothing
Yeah,
new. I just think that the media is overblowing it. Like, honestly, to tell you the truth, we didn't need Trey Lance for info. If the Cowboys needed any information, anything, you go look at that wild card game in AT&T Stadium and look at the game you just played a couple of months ago and Levi. That's all. The only difference is Ezekiel Elliott and a couple other guys, but just go look at those games. Learn from your mistakes. Shanahan's still there, Debo's still there, Kettle's still there. Just what in January, CMC was there. It's like you don't need Trey Lance for information. Y'all don't need Anthony Brown for information. You
nah,
don't.
I was just being sarcastic about
No,
it.
no, I know what you said, but I've heard it a lot. Oh, you guys are using this. It's like you guys didn't get Randy Gregory to get information. You didn't get Anthony Brown to get information.
No,
I think it's the funniest shit in the world. When I
it
heard it, I was
is.
like, what the fuck? Like people do it all the time. Sure, they're gonna nitpick. Do y'all line up? Did they line up like this? Did they line up like that? Shanahan's a smart guy, so he's gonna make sure. Look, we're not gonna sit out here and run what Trey seen, and we're not gonna do this. And just like it's happened too many times. Like to me, it's just like I thought the media was overhyping this, using Trey Lance as a spy thing. I thought it was like, that's stupid. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
of
is.
course, they're
And I
gonna
was,
brain
yeah,
a little bit, but come on,
I,
y'all.
yeah, I don't think we just signed the guy. I don't think we signed Anthony Brown just for the info. No, I think we signed him for depth wise. I don't know if he's going to stick around. I think he's only there just like you said, a depth piece. And then you look at the rest of like the reason why we got Randy Gregory is because we haven't been able to create enough pressure to get to the quarterback. So
Right.
Denver was already moving on from Randy Gregory. And the good part about this trade, since we're going to talk about this Gregory trade, man, this trade is actually a steal because not only did the Niners get Randy Gregory for a really good deal,
Right.
Broncos are paying majority of his salary cap, and we're only just paying him veteran minimum. And it's pretty optional for his 3-year contract. So we can either rework his contract, which we've done with CMC. So I think Randy Gregory just gives us a depth piece, like a guy who can come into the rotation or maybe potentially be a starter down the stretch, which we've
That's
seen some potential. We've seen some potential,
right.
but it's been it's been him not staying healthy and off the field. I mean, when he was in Dallas had patience with him and there was talent there.
Yeah. We honestly with the Cowboys, we gave this kid way too many chances. And I did not want him. And I did not want this guy in the draft. I didn't. Because I knew he came with red flags out of Nebraska. Great football player. But mental case, off the field problems, it was too much. And when we started seeing the best of him, he left. And of course, the contract situation was crazy. He didn't want to go to Denver, but you can't turn down that kind of money. Now he's over here, and he's going to be a great I'd say this, great rotational piece, like great. And that's kind of why I wanted him to come back to Dallas, just to fit into our rotation, not to be a starter, but to be a great rotational piece. And you guys got a good rotational piece. And watch his off the field issues. He ain't right in the head, and that's the problem. It's just you did get a good deal for Randy Gregory. You did what Denver still got to give him the $14 million, and you guys are only going to give him what, under $1 million?
Yeah.
That's great. That's a great fucking deal. So
And you swap draft picks.
Yeah, like
that's it. You didn't give up nothing.
Like, come on, man.
And the contract, you can rework his contract.
Right. It
So
was
like,
a sweet. It's a sweet deal. Why pass that up? And I see somebody say Pastor Tan. You're gonna have to give up a king's ransom for
for
Pastor
that guy.
Tan,
Yeah,
man.
I
Like
think it
they're
has to
just
come
not
down
gonna
to.
give him for some bullshit or one first rounder or something.
I think there's gonna have to be another option. Like maybe if Chicago continues on what they're doing, losing, maybe you go after a Jalen Johnson, which he wants. You probably get a third round for this kid or something. But I think that's another guy nobody's talking about is Jalen Johnson. He's on a bad team, and maybe Chicago's willing to tank. Like I wouldn't say tank technically, but rebuilding because they're still trying to build around Justin Fields, and you want to bring more assets, so you might have to get rid of some of your core players just to get where you want to go.
Right.
Like the Commanders, they might be willing to move on from Kendall Fuller, and maybe he might be a nice asset too, but. Like Patrick Surtain, that's going to take a ransom because he's a first round talent.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to give up a lot to get Pastor Tan. Like they're gonna want to that's what I call it. I call it a king's ransom. But
Yeah,
there is a lot of talent. I mean, another thing I believe with this game Sunday night, and I mentioned this last night too. You get whoever wins. How I look at it, you get the first shots of the pillage, and what I call the pillage is before the trade deadline. A lot of these under 500 teams, they got guys that you can just go pillage to really build your run to a solid postseason, or all the way to Las Vegas for the Super Bowl.
yeah.
So this has a lot to do with Sunday night too, because the winner, quiet as kept, you get the shot. You get to start the under 500 pillage. You get to start going through and seeing what you need. There are still some good, guys that you can get, for good value for trades. Lyle Collins for us, which I think we should get Lyle. Lyle Collins is still out there.
For depth wise, yeah.
Yeah, for depth wise, yeah. That kid you were talking about Kendall Fuller from Washington, but that other kid who's not working out well in Washington at all. I always forget his name, the kid from Ohio State.
Wait, the kid from Ohio State. You mean you're talking about the cornerback?
Blonde dreadlocks.
Oh,
defensive player.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, are you talking about Chase Young, the defensive?
Chase Young.
Yeah, he can't stay healthy. That's always been the
what? Chase Young, he can't stay healthy, but rotational piece,
he might be
could
good.
work. A gun for hire could work. Like it's things like that. Another guy I don't think no one is talking about that could be shockingly up for a trade who can't stay healthy. You guys probably don't need him, but I just say for the guys that you get your shot at that pillage tank. Guys like Saquon Barkley.
Ooh, yeah, Barkley on the Giants. Like, I don't know what team's willing to take his contract, but yeah, that guy could be the difference maker. Like
Xavier McKinney. Like, it's just these teams that know it's over. Some of these guys aren't going to be on their clubs next year.
Or Danielle Hunter from the Vikings. You can try to see if you can get this guy off the deal. And I think he's still on a 1-year deal or at least something, but you're taking a rental out of the guy. So Brian Burns is another option. Yeah. I think I don't think the Niners are done with these trades. I think that might be the next step. Like if it doesn't pan out with Randy Gregory immediately, we might just be willing to get another guy just to load up, because look what Philadelphia did last year. They load up the pass rush. They went all in.
Right.
Even though they failed, but they went all in by getting a lot of those edge rushers.
Yeah.
So you got to do whatever it takes. Like you can look at other teams like the Raiders. They don't have, they might even move on with certain key players, like some guys. Right. Like maybe getting a Marcus Peters on a very low risk could be possible because he has good veteran leadership.
Yeah.
Or just like how Denver's doing it. The only player I might want to take off of Denver besides Patrick Surtain is DJ Jones. He's a good run stopper. Like he'll definitely take away the running game away. And I felt like that's one of the guys I missed the most because he was very consistent as a D tackle. But
see, that's what I'm saying. It's Sunday night is about a lot of things. Whoever walks away with a dub, you get the window opens for a lot of things. And like I tell everybody, I know bragging rights are cool, but for the NFC, especially for whoever the Niners or the Cowboys, to get in that pillage tank and to just go through some of these under 500 teams and maybe make a deal to bolster the roster, like that means a hell of a lot, man. Like seriously, because I think you guys are a couple of games away from your bye week. I know Dallas has their bye week right after the Chargers game. So it means a lot. I think the trade deadline is Halloween. So it does mean it's early, but it means so much already. It's a
Yeah,
huge game. Like I keep saying, it is a huge fucking game.
yeah, it is. Like you said, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of moves, even from Dallas or any other team. Philadelphia, I'm hearing a lot of rumors about Philadelphia trying to get Buda Baker. If that's the case, that might be the difference maker for them.
Oh yeah, definitely. And yeah, let's not forget about him.
I mean, he's getting tired of losing over there. Like I seen one of those press conference from what is it like? Not a press con. I think it was from the Hard Knocks or something. And
Yeah,
I'm tired of fucking losing.
yeah, he's out, and he's not gonna want to go to some bullshit team. He's gonna want to. You want to talk about a gun for hire? It's
Yeah,
him. He'll
yeah.
take.
He's a heart and
He's
soul leader. Yeah,
yeah. He'll take a discount to go to a contender, and yeah, that would be scary with Philly. That would absolutely make me look at Philly like, ugh,
it was
that's
like getting
kind of scary.
Gardner Johnson in a way almost.
Right? Is kind of scary. I mean, like if Buddha, I wish we needed him. Like to be honest, we really don't. It would be great if we could get him for the 49ers or the Eagles or even the Cowboys. That would make your team go from damn good to scary.
Yeah, it would
Like
make it
that'll
more.
make your team scary. Like how
It would.
CMC made y'all scary last year. I like that made y'all scary. Like god damn, like they were already loaded, but then they just got this. So
I mean, we're
and it's
like,
working.
yeah. Instead of like the poison, we're more like the lethal injection. So
Yeah, pretty much.
it's like okay, you want to focus on CMC? We got Debo. Okay, Brandon Ayuk. Have you heard of him?
Right.
Or hey, Kittle hasn't done nothing. You might want to pay attention to him.
Right.
Yeah, but we got some pieces. I mean, Dallas got some pieces too, but I just never understood part of the business of why you guys got rid of Cooper, man. That was making your offense really explosive at one point.
I think it was an internal problem
Oh, internal problem.
between Dak and Cooper. I do believe that in my heart. I think it wasn't even a business move. It was an internal problem. And I like that everyone's keeping lids on it, but from my point of view, I believe in my heart, even how they just gave him up for such bullshit. I do believe that it was an internal problem because I've heard rumblings about him and Dak. I've heard that he called Dak a couple of names. I heard Dak called him a couple of names. So I definitely have heard it. I believe in my heart it was an internal problem.
So it
Because
had to do. So it had to do with the personal issue.
oh
Okay.
yeah, it was. You know what I call it? Ego.
Oh, so ego. Okay, like something to do with like they don't get on the same page. They're just having
Yes.
some issues. Like
Yes.
a lot of the on air stuff. Like there's some stuff that nobody knows about. But I guess if you were watching what was going on, I guess Warren Sapp's throwing Keyshawn under the bus, and then
Yeah.
Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch. Like
Right.
I guess that they just let it out there. So yeah, they're just
Yeah.
put. Yeah, and you look at it this way, like Dallas, the way how you guys have been keeping this unit. I mean, Dan Quinn could have taken any other head coaching job, but I think he wanted to stay for another year. And he's a good DC. I'll give him that. Like as
Yeah.
far as a head coach, I don't know, but as a defensive play caller, he does a really good job.
Oh yeah. Like I'm glad to me that was the best off season move we had was keeping Dan Quinn here with this defense because this defense is playing damn good. They had that hiccup in Arizona. They did.
Yeah,
But it's just they're playing damn good ball. And I like what I'm seeing with what he's doing. I mean, he's resurrected Dante Fowler's career.
yeah.
So it's just he's a great piece. A little bit of me wants him to be head coach, but that's another story.
It's another story for another day. But I
Yeah,
mean,
that's another story. But it's
yeah.
just I think he's a great piece, and those boys are going to be tested Sunday. And I know they're hungry yet. They're licking their chops at this. They're because they believe, and I've seen them. I've heard the podcast. I've heard the things that they've been saying. They believe it wasn't their fault why we lost that game. Like it's been some shots thrown at Dak subliminally, and they don't believe losing that game had nothing to do with them. They are all pretty much. We know. I, as an older Cowboy fan, know who they pointing the finger at. The Cowboy fans on Twitter and social media. You can say what you want, but when you hear players say this in the way that they're saying it, it wasn't us that lost it. Hey, look what we did. We worked with Kettle and da 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 da. We was holding down CMC. We was holding down Debo. It wasn't us. So that let me know. Even they are starting to look at our quarterback with a side eye. So, like I said, Sunday night is going to say a lot about Dak Prescott. Now, will it help him get a contract extension? Absolutely no way. It's just this is what you're supposed to do. So it says a lot. Dak throw 2 interceptions. He can pretty much wrap it up in Dallas. It's over.
Oh yeah, like I think the problem with Dak is he has to play and live up to it. Like this is a game that's been like something that he needs to overcome. Like
Right.
you know how the old saying from Ric Flair, to be the man or to beat the best, you got to beat the
Yeah,
best.
to beat a man, you got to beat the man.
You got to beat the best. And
Yes, you
and
do.
as far as everybody says, they can make an argument about the Philadelphia Eagles being the top because they were in the Super Bowl last year. But I think overall, the Niners have played a complete game at times, but there's still a lot left on the field that we can still do. But
Right.
Dallas is going to be the real test because this is the team in the top of the conference. I think there's a good chance. Maybe this is what we're going to get. Maybe an NFC Championship down the road. We don't know. But I feel like I kind of have a feeling that's what they are leaning towards. Maybe.
I agree. And when me and you talk, when the Cowboys and the Niners had that wild card throwdown in Arlington, and I had told you on that stream, I said the winner of this game, you just wrote your ticket to the NFC title game.
Yeah.
And it happened. You beat Dallas, you beat Green Bay, and then of course, you had the hiccup in LA. That's another story too. But I look at this. I'll say this right now. This is one of two. There will be a postseason showdown.
There
Like,
will be.
yeah, like I don't unless there's a catastrophic injury amongst one of the franchises. This is just one or two. And I have my thing with the NFL and my conspiracies. And the NFL know on a business note, they're gonna make a lot of money.
Off of this game, yes.
They're gonna make too much money to not let there be a part two.
Yeah, because a part two would have some meaning to it. And
Oh
especially,
yeah.
yeah, like you just said, you guys your defense hasn't missed quite a beat yet. Like we
No.
went from Diggs. Diggs may have been a big loss for your guys' defense in a way, but I feel like Darren Bland is exactly more of a physical corner,
Yes.
and he's been very consistent. But I get that. He's a good kid from Fresno State, man. I'll say
Oh
that.
yeah. Yeah. I tried to. People didn't know about Deron Bland, and I've been watching this kid play since high school. Being out here in the Valley.
And then Sacramento State, and then he
Oh
went.
yeah, yeah. Before he transferred to Fresno from Sacramento State, I've been watching that kid, and I told everybody, y'all don't understand what we just got, and it may be a Valley bias, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be honest, like I
And
tell,
you got the Jalen Cropper too, also.
yeah, okay. I know people have looked at me funny before they seen Bland play. I told several people. I remember we was at the Yard House in River Park. And I made a lot of people like, wait, what? I said it. He's better than Trayvon Diggs. No one believed me when I said that. What the hell are you talking about? How can some kid from Fresno State? Listen, once he gets on the field, you'll understand. Last year, people kind of get it. This year, there's some people going, maybe you're right. Like I had a few people recently talk like, I don't after the Patriots game. But like I told everybody, it's Sunday night. I want to see how he plays against a top-notch offense. That's going to tell me everything I need to know. And Gilmore better pay attention because if this kid can really play that well, you definitely not coming back next year.
Yeah.
So,
Darren Bland is a steal. He's a dog out there. So it's like,
yeah.
I think a lot of us being Valley biased in a way kind of gives us an understanding of certain players who are. I think when we know what we see dogs, I can tell you when we see dogs. Like Jalen Johnson, a dog on a bad football team, but
Yeah.
he can be really good. I mean, Darren Bland, bro, coming from Fresno State, he had that dog mentality. It's just we never seen the
Yeah.
production from Fresno State, but it's a different type of animal when you go into the NFL. So
Yeah, that guy right there, I told everybody, y'all didn't see what I used to see at Jim Sweeney Field. You don't get it. Like
oh, Oh, dude.
You
Like,
don't get it. Like, no, I used to tell you,
so
y'all
you
don't get
see,
it.
do you go to those games?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
I might need to link up with you at those games, dude. I usually go down those games every now and then.
Yeah. I was just at the last one. I think that they got a hidden talent over there. And
They got a quarterback that's pretty decent. Like
yeah,
he came from Central Florida, but yeah, my wife's been going to those games and I just haven't got a chance to. So I'm like, damn.
they're the ticket prices are going up now that they're ranked. And it's kind of cool. Just now people are kind of catching, of course, when we start getting ranked, I always call it the red wave or the bulldog hype starts. And
Yeah,
I
small
jumped
school.
off the couch when we got bland. No one understood my excitement. Like I got friends that'll tell you, like, they were all hitting me up. Who is this guy? Who's this guy from Fresno? The first words out of my mouth, he better than Diggs.
And they thought you were delusional.
Yeah. Oh my God. I caught hell for I still catch hell for that. He's better. You might not believe me. Unpopular opinion. He's better
No,
than
but I
Diggs.
mean, if you saw the guy from playing the perspective, bro, you would have a different understanding because when you saw the guy play, because we were there watching games in person, and I've seen him play before. He was
You
always in good position to
you
cover.
can't say he's not replacing him because he's replacing him currently. And when Diggs come back, I'm talking about this comment right here. You can't
Oh,
say he's not replacing him because he's replacing him currently. And
well,
when he comes,
yeah.
yeah, and when he comes back next year, he'll be CB2.
No,
Gilmore
I
won't
think
be
he's
here.
replacing Gilmore next
Yeah,
year.
he's replacing Gilmore.
Yeah,
So
Gilmore's already at the end of his career, and
yeah,
I think Darren Bland is a perfect example of it doesn't matter which round you get the guy. If he can play, he can play. So it's
yeah.
like,
I don't even think
we got a
I don't
couple
even think Jordan Lewis is going to be here next year. I think they got Eric Scott. Eric Scott's going to be in the slot. It's just, you know,
yeah,
hey, I'm just calling it as I see it.
yeah. I don't think he's gonna replace Diggs because you guys paid him. I think it's gonna have to be Gilmore because I think he's only got maybe a year or two on his current contract.
Yeah,
So I think that's where you get to see how this kid's made of, and then I like that when teams like take chances on players in the later round. I'm just more of a big fan of the later rounds because there's always that one kid that people sleep on. They end up being pretty good. And that's a perfect example of what Darren Bland is, bro. He was a 5th or 6th round pick from you guys.
right. And I thought he could, personally, like I said, Bulldog bias. Plus, I seen him play a lot. I thought he was at least a third or a fourth.
Yeah,
I did.
There was a lot of tape. There was a lot of buzz on him moving up draft boards to maybe 3rd round.
Yeah, I
I've
thought
heard
he
that.
was.
Yeah, I've heard that buzz. Like the buzz they were talking about it on the diamond stuff, like the draft diamonds and all that.
Right.
And I was in the process of trying to get him on my show a while back, and then he just never got back to me. But I know a couple of people who know his family personally. He lives down Modesto, but he told me that he
Yeah.
knows the kid personally. He told me that guy's going to be good. And
Listen, I tried to tell so many people who did not know who he was. He's going to be good. He's going to be good. He's
yeah,
going to be good. So
I got to give a shout out to my boy Dane Madden. He told me about this kid for quite a while. Like this dude, he's from Modesto, and he told me this guy's gonna be good. And he even said the Cowboys got to steal with this guy.
I like I said, that day at Yard House was funny because I told everybody, unpopular opinion, he's better than Diggs. And people even people that wasn't even at our table, they were like, "Wait, what did you say? Oh my God, no,
That's that loser, though."
yeah, like
hey, you're trying to sound like those other content creators that are trying to fill too high on the Kool-Aid.
right. It's just and I'm not lying. I can't wait to this kid's finally gonna get a challenge. Big stage back in Cali. He's from fucking Modesto. He played at Fresno State. He's back home. I want to see this kid on a big stage. This kid, you want to talk about somebody that could get paid? This kid could just write his ticket in this game tomorrow night.
This game can definitely showcase him
Yeah.
being a legit top cornerback. But I think if Dallas were smart, they're gonna try to keep him.
Oh man, like they better do. If this kid is still performing at the level he's been performing this year, he already got 2 touchdowns.
And he's already been consistent with the ball in his hands, so he's been getting those picks. He's got a good knack for the ball. So it's
yeah, he's a ball hawk, 100% ball hawk. So people, for people that's, Diggs is a household name.
Yeah,
And
Alabama things.
yeah, it's just, yeah, exactly. And I tell people, stop going on a household name shit. Some of these guys that you're not talking, so Osa Diggy, and now people are starting to see what I was saying about Diggy, and I was like, the dude, he can play in the trenches, he can play his ass off in the trenches. So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
people don't look at things like the same thing with like Hargraves,
He's
and
not a big name, but he comes from South Carolina State, and everybody
exactly,
overlooks him. But
it's just I like ball players. I tell people that I don't care what you could go to Portland State. I don't care. I
as long
love
as you can ball,
exactly. I don't care
like
what school you went to, as long as you
yeah.
can ball out. That's
I
all that
mean,
matters.
how the hell did we get this kid in the last pick in the draft and he goes to Iowa State? You would figure he would have had a draft spot maybe in the third or fourth round grade, but
Right.
man, this kid slide. He was small. He was exactly the same size as Baker Mayfield.
And he's a baller. I respect Brock Purdy because he just shows you it doesn't matter what round you were drafted. As long as you hungry and you can play your position, that's all that fucking matters.
Oh yeah, we're ready for tomorrow's
Oh
game.
man.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Since this one Cleveland Browns fan left an interesting question, who would favor this matchup between Nick Bosa and Michael Parsons? I think Parsons
Ooh.
has a very favorable matchup against our other tackle, like McKivitz. If I'm being honest, I mean, I don't know. Bosa just hasn't really done anything quite yet. So
Bosa
he's
gonna
had,
cook Chuma. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
he barring. But since I didn't get to this question, who do you think wins the matchup between Bosa and Michael Parsons? I know they. Um, I think it really. I think if I don't know, Dak holds on the ball a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. I would it's you know what, and that's just people talk about Brock versus Dak. You also got Bosa versus Parsons, and I don't know. I think both of them are going to. I think both of them are going to have a lights out game. I do. Like I said, it's going. I can sit up here and go Michael Parsons, and I don't think it's right because I respect Bosa. So it's just these are two of the best defensive players in the last couple of years. Both are defensive player of the year candidates. It's just I think they're both going to turn it on Sunday night. It's going to be something to watch. I think it's going to be a showdown. And
It
I know
is.
Parsons gets up for moments like this, and he's going to try to out. The problem I hope don't happen is he tries to outdo Bosa. He gets
Yeah.
too excited. He see Bosa working, he gonna want to work. He just
Yeah.
play your game your way. If you're the lion, play like a lion. Bosa is Bosa. Bosa has monster game, and I'm not gonna lie. Our offensive line, sure, they're all playing for the first time together since 2021, but they're kind of going into it banged up. That to me is an advantage for Bosa. It's a
Yeah,
hell of
because
an advantage for Bosa.
he's getting
So
back in the game shape. So I think this is the game for him to show on the spotlight. So
right.
ooh, I like this question. I think this was a similar question that Duke Bothers got from previous few days ago. So which three of your Cowboys rookie you were impressed the most?
Shoemaker is doing pretty good. He's doing pretty good. I like I do like Shoemaker. Deuce Vaughn is better than I thought. I'm not
Deuce
like,
Vaughn, okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
Deuce Vaughn's doing better than I
his dad
thought.
was working in the office and they call him on draft day, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was special. I'm disappointed in Mozzie, but I just know it's because of the load. With Hankins working and with Diggy working, Mozzie is kind of in the back. That's really about honestly, I can't even name another one. Like everyone else is I haven't seen Fahoko hasn't played at all in the regular season.
I
So
mean, if you're going by most impressive, you guys have that fullback for North Dakota who was undrafted,
right.
which Duke was telling me like he was saying that guy's name.
Yeah, he's turned it on. Like it's just to me, honestly, this draft class wasn't that impressive.
I just thought when you guys drafted Mozzie, I thought he was a reach. You guys could have got that Michael Mayers kid.
You know what? I I did Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame. I was just like,
You
I
know you're
wasn't
getting
really, I wasn't really that impressed with him. I'm gonna be honest with you. To tell you the truth, I kind of wanted us to trade out of the first round and get more picks. I
could
really
have been
did.
that way too, and you guys could have still got Mozzie Smith anyways.
I believe we could have got him in the second.
Yeah,
It's
and then
just people put too much hype on him, and I just I just haven't been the 2023 draft class overall. I haven't been too impressed. I really haven't.
well, I mean, as far as like the draft wise, I mean, when I look at the rest of the draft, like the way the Niners have drafted, I guess I can't complain about the kicker, even though it was a reach.
Right.
But I can't be disappointed about it. Ronnie Bell, even though for a 7th-round pick, he's not that bad. I mean, he's gonna get some more opportunities to contribute. So,
Right.
I mean, I have some high hopes on this Oklahoma tight end, but I think in no time he'll get some playing time down the stretch. But I feel like the one player who stands out to me that I really like, but I think we mostly just redshirt these guys, so it's not like we play
Mm-hmm.
them as much. So we keep them as like get them ahead of the curve for next year, but they get opportunities to play. So
Right.
I don't think we see a lot of our impacts from the rookies right away. So only our kicker. That's about it. Our kicker, Ronnie Bell, got some significant playing time. You look at our linebacking, the young linebackers we drafted. I like the kid from Purdue. He is a baller.
Right.
The kid from TCU, he's got some speed. He can really tackle and hit somebody. The kid from Georgia, I don't know. Like he's coming off IR, so I don't know when he's going to return. But I heard some good potential in this kid. So I guess it's underwhelming because we don't know what they're going to be next year. So
It's kind of like what you were saying with us. I think most of these guys are Eric Scott. Most of these guys are pretty much red shirted, and
yeah,
we'll see what they got next year. So
yeah.
I want to see Eric Scott. I really want to see Eric Scott.
I really want to see Braden out there, Braden Willis. I want to see this kid get out there, but
Right.
I
And
just see those other guys taking snaps out of him. But ooh, hmm. Since me and Duke will agree on this, we did beat the Texas Longhorns, so let's go. Let's go. We can take it down.
yeah,
Take
that's
it down.
crazy.
Yeah, I know you like Georgia, right?
Who me?
Yeah.
Oh no, my mom went to the University of Texas, and of course, it's kind of like I'm two teaming because I got family at Fresno State. Went to Fresno State. My son went to
Okay.
Fresno
But,
State.
you
My
like
daughter
Georgia
went to
too?
Texas. Nah, I really do. I love SEC football, but I can't say I'm a fan. It's mostly Texas and Fresno State,
Okay.
and it's of course it's just where I'm from. Texas, and my Valley bias.
Valley bias, but
My
hey,
Valley bias.
well, there's a couple of guys that went to your school, like Hoover. There's like the
Oh
Michael
yeah.
Kendricks, the Eric Kendricks of the world.
Yes.
Then you had the
Yeah.
Henry Elliott.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there were some ballers there.
Oh
Ooh, I like
yeah.
this question, man. I know you have some all-time favorites on your Cowboys, man.
Oh man. Phew, where do I start with the alt? My favorite. Oh man, that's hard. But my favorite is just because he was just the first Cowboy player. I guess you would say I identify with. It was Tony Dorsett. I'm a little bit older. Tony Dorsett, and of course Everson Walls. Um, I'm with the classics. Harvey Martin, Randy White, because those are the guys when I was a kid. Those are the guys. Those are the familiar names with me. Dennis Thurman, and even Danny White. Like those are the guys that I grew up with. Drew Pearson, Tony Hill, D.D. Lewis, um, Crawford Kerr. Those were,
Hollywood Henderson.
of course, Thomas Hollywood Henderson. Man, like Butch Davis. There's just I'm from that classic. I always say if I had to put it in Cowboys 49er perspective, I grew up in the catch era. I'm from the catch era. Like, the first time I ever seen people get emotional over a game was the catch. So I've seen football that I can remember before that, but even though I was real young, but the first time before I understood the Redskin rivalry, the Giants rivalry, the Eagles rivalry, the first time I ever heard my folks go, "Fuck this team," it was the Niners. So,
Yeah. We were like it wasn't like a division rivalry, but when you seen this team, they would meet up in the playoffs. So it's like regular season, it was bragging rights, and you get a lot of that all the time. So I get that all the time with the mix of my family. Like, we got some of the Niner fans on the side of my family, then the majority of the side is Cowboys. So we always have a little good fun talk here and there. So,
oh yeah.
To answer your question, Michael, he's not going to play because he needs to be up to speed, and he's already trying to get everything situated so he can take his family down to Santa Clara. So I don't think he's going to play. So I think to play it smart, you want to have him against Cleveland personally, because I think Cleveland could be the trap game. Like, I don't know, for whatever reason, we don't have success against Cleveland. Like, like you just said, it's an outliner for some games, but Cleveland just seems like the kind of game we don't play well.
Every team has that one team, or even two teams.
Baltimore too, for whatever reason. Baltimore, my God. Like, I can think of a couple. I can think of losable games on my mind, and I can say Cleveland is one of them. Right. Baltimore. But I think it's possible between you guys, so we don't know what's going to happen this week. So,
right.
But like you said, there's all those outliner games.
Right.
Ooh, so this is the guy you guys drafted, right? Asim Richards.
Yeah, Asim Richards. Yeah, Awesome Richards.
And then you guys drafted this one kid from San Jose State, which I don't know what's going on. Is he on your guys' roster or practice?
Oh, for Huko, yeah, he's there. I just think that he's just, again, it's a red shirt issue. It's what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, I think that's.
I want to see him play bad. I've seen Fehoko play, and with Valami Fehoko, I've seen him play, and we just haven't played him. I get why, because we're loaded at that position, and
you want to keep
God, ready no one's hurt. So yeah, like he's always inactive, and just right. If we don't need him, don't play him. But
yeah, don't play him. Let them learn the system and all that stuff. That goes for Jair Brown too. We got this kid from Penn State in the 3rd round, so it's like, don't have to play him out there when you have a veteran like Gibson playing good football.
Right. Some guys it's just you're inactive because, thank God, the other guys are doing their job. As much as I want to see Fehoko, when you got all these other guys done, what is it? A lot of these other guys doing their job. You really don't need them, bro.
Oh, so, yeah.
I'm good right now. He can stay red shirt.
Like, that's just how you play it smart. They get to learn the system, and they don't have to be rushed out there. So it becomes a simple transition for them next year to learn the system, and they'll be in better shape. They'll be more bulked up a little more. They'll be ahead of the game a little bit. But sometimes when you throw them out there, they just come out there struggling right away.
Yeah, and I don't want that. I really right now. Nah, I keep the injuries down because it's a long season, but it's going to be. This starts the run. I'm with everybody. The season starts now. Well, I mean, I hate defending the 49ers because I can't stand the 49ers, but I'm tired of hearing we haven't beat nobody. I'm tired of that. Like, even with both teams, y'all haven't beat nobody. Y'all haven't beat nobody.
You play by our schedule.
Yeah, we don't listen. You, John Lynch, Jerry Jones, they can't sit down and go, okay, we're going to play them. We got to play them. We got to play. Stop it. Like, how they line it up. Don't get mad because we winning games. Like, that goes for the Eagles too. Like, my order will not change until it's different. The Eagles were the representative for the NFC in the Super Bowl, so I got to put them at 1. Second is the Niners. Third is the Cowboys. And I've said this repeatedly. You can put whoever the hell you want behind Dallas. I don't care. Those are the 3 best teams in the NFC. And I believe those 3 teams, I don't like 2 of them. I think they could beat anybody in the top 5 of the AFC, including the so-called hot Dolphins. Like, I just look at for what it is. Those teams are they're the most complete teams. I think that they play their ass off, and now everyone gets to see this big clash. Finally, everybody is like this is what the fans wanted. You don't have to wait till November or December to see it. It's going to be beautiful in Santa Clara.
It's like an early Christmas gift in a way.
Fuck yes, it is.
I mean, you can't get any better than that. So it's like, speaking of the matchup, let's talk about a matchup we're looking forward to. You know what, Grandizer? I don't know, man. Simus, he wants you to do a Cowboys. So I don't know, man.
Okay. Wait, what?
He says he wants you to do the yippee-ki-yay, whatever. This guy's funny. He's the funniest dude.
No, I don't do that, but
I know you wouldn't. That's what I'm saying, bro. I don't think you would do that. Like
Nah,
personally, since I talked to Silas behind the scenes, I don't think that's the kind of guy that does that stuff, man. But he's a diehard Cowboys fan just from the way he is. Like,
I'm a straight shooter with this team. I've seen the ups, I've seen the downs. I with us right now, it's about establishing an identity going into the rest of the season, and
yeah,
that goes for both teams.
that goes for both teams staying
That goes for
healthy.
both teams.
That's
Yeah,
been the issue with it. But the
one of these
matchup.
teams are going to be in the NFC, possibly a Super Bowl. I'm going to say that right now. Like one of these teams could be the representative for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, one of those teams will be in Vegas, but
Yeah.
who is it? The Niners or Cowboys? I don't know about Philadelphia. I don't know. It's just I don't know about them. It just seems like they were good last year. They got Jalen Carter and all that stuff,
Right.
but we took one of their best players that created a lot of pressure, and he's still producing for us. So
Right.
I guess it is what it is. But as far as matchup wise, what matchup are you looking forward for your Cowboys?
Ooh, wee. Dak Prescott versus the 49er defense. I'm not lucky.
That's going to be the ultimate test for Dak Prescott. Like
I
anytime,
swear to God.
anytime Dak Prescott sees Fred Warner, he's sweating bullets.
Yeah, he has an Achilles heel with Mike linebackers. Like I don't know what it is. Like Romo had the same problem too, and it's something about him because I always say I played Mike linebacker in high school, and I always say we're the quarterback of the defense.
They're the
leader.
leaders.
So, yeah, it is just quarterbacks are punks, just like he got punked in Arizona, and I just think and he got punked in January against this defense. Didn't Fred Warner get an interception on Prescott? Like it's just that's the number one matchup. I can sit here and name so many other things, Parson, Bosa, all of that. No, I want to see if I was Mike McCarthy and we won the toss, we get the ball first. We get the ball first. I want to see this. I need to see my offense against this defense right now. I'm not waiting. I need to see it right now.
That favors us more when we get the ball halftime, right?
Bro.
A lot of teams that try to switch that way, like, let the Niners get the ball first.
I need to see my quarterback. Dak has had problems. Yeah. So I need to see
what they can do.
I gotta see it. I don't want to wait. I'd rather take that chance with y'all to get the ball in the beginning of the second half because I need to see it right fucking now. Like
and Dak is who he is, man. A regular season quarterback. He'll give you the numbers. If you want him on your fantasy football team, he'll give you some points here and there. But when it comes to the big stage, I can't trust Dak. I just can't trust him.
That is right there.
Like I don't know. Like something just tells me, like, when you see how, like when I watch Dak play, he might have one of his big games, and then the following game, he just doesn't look like the guy that just played the previous game.
Right.
He just feels scared or something.
Right. I told everyone, look at how he played against Tampa in the wild card. If he didn't stay that consistent against the Niners, we're gonna lose. Look at what he did. It's no different tomorrow. If Dak come out there with the happy feet, throw a pick, one pick's gonna turn to 2 picks. And here we go. We know what's gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
So that's to play perfect football.
So that's the matchup for sure that you definitely looking forward to. You want to see if Dak can step up to the plate. Let's see. For me, the matchup wise, I know a lot of people keep criticizing Purdy, like that he's not good for the big stage. But hey, the Cowboys have one of the best defense. Maybe this will give him his props if he does it against a Dallas defense, which is in the top, like at least number 1 in the NFL, or at least number 2 beyond. I think Cleveland's number 1 if I'm mistaken. Like, as far as defense, I think Dallas has one of the best defense, but if I'm looking at the statistics, I think Cleveland has like the number 1.
I think it's Cleveland.
See, that's the true test. Brock Purdy's going to have a tough test. He's going to play Dallas's defense on primetime. That's going to be the one matchup I'm looking forward to because I know Dallas is going to try to create some more pressure, and then Cleveland's going to be another true test too.
Right. I tell everybody, I know how to put my bias and my hate on the shelf. It's which quarterback blinks first. I keep saying it because Brock Purdy versus the Dallas defense Dak Prescott versus the Niner defense.
So who doesn't blink? Okay.
Who don't blink? Exactly. Who
Who doesn't
flinches
spit a
first?
bullet?
Don't fucking flinch. And that's all I've been thinking. Whoever flinches first, you just lost.
That's the draw. That's all we gotta say about this matchup. I mean, as far as like that, dude, I think we pretty much cover all the matchups and all that stuff. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
so let's talk about keys to the game. Let's go with 3 X factors for your team. So, what do the Dallas Cowboys have to do against the 49ers to pull an upset or win this game?
Clean up that red zone shit. That's one.
All right,
Score.
clean that shit up.
This is
Clean it
not.
up, guys. Clean it up.
This is not the Texas Rangers versus the goddamn San Francisco Giants. This is the 49ers versus the goddamn Cowboys. And what I mean by that, 3 points are not going to get you wins. You got to get the fucking ball in the end zone.
I like that.
Dak Prescott has got to play a perfect fucking game. He's got to be damn near flawless. He can't go out there and throw multiple picks or have multiple turnovers. Dallas defense has got to be on point. You are going up against some of the best offensive weapons in the national, if not the best offensive weapons in Debo, Ayuk, and CMC. In a good fucking offensive line, mind you, you got to go out there and be on your A game. So if not, this could be a massacre. If you play right, you might walk out of Levi with a fucking upset. And it will be an upset. It's not going to be just a victory. It's an upset because no one, and I mean nobody that's not a Cowboy fan, got you picked to win this game.
Nah, you just gotta have the confidence, man. That's fine.
Right.
I don't see it as a impossible. I think it's possible you guys can easily pull the upset if you guys do exactly what you're supposed to do, like get into the red zone, like you said. Creating pressure on Brock Purdy would be the main key for you guys. I mean, I think Dak needs to be more of a runner than he is as a thrower. So
I agree.
think that's another main factor. But I think for the Niners to be successful is just stopping Tony Pollard. I think if we stop him, it would make Dak throw the ball more than usual. And usually when Dak throws the ball more, mistakes come into play. So that could be the factor into what we want to do to Dak. But if I had to look at the other X factor is to find ways to utilize trying to get Kittle in the passing game, because I know in the middle that's where you guys struggle the most. Maybe try to get Kittle in those type of plays or find ways to expose some of your weakness in the secondary a little bit. But I know with Darren Bland, he's a physical corner, but I know there's some flaws with Gilmore. Gilmore's kind of been a little off on his game a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the main key, is try to expose a little of those holes in your secondary, and maybe we have a chance. But I think it's any given week. So I think both teams, it does have some meaningful. I would rather this be an NFC Championship game between these two teams. You got to end your streak at some point.
Yeah, honestly, I think this is the first of two.
I think you guys got to get the monkey off your back when it comes to the conference appearances. I mean, at least try to get to the conference. At least
I agree. That's why I tell everybody I can't talk Super Bowl until I see us win a divisional round game. I can't. It's hard for me to even talk conference title games until I see us finally get over the hump with a divisional round win.
Yeah.
And I just think if it works in our favor, we can get past there. But me personally, I believe that this is just set up for Niners Cowboys NFC title. And I'll say it all the way through, like I've been saying. I believe this is Niners Cowboys NFC title game in fucking Santa Clara. It's not going to be I tell people that all the time. I do believe that's where it's going to happen. Like last year, I told everybody divisional round game going to happen in Levi. It did. Like I told you, about the wild card situation. The winner of this game going to the NFC title game.
I mean, a lot of your predictions were on point. Like the way you said it, you were kind of like the magician, or kind of like the predictor. This is what's going to happen.
One of these teams are going to Las Vegas, and I believe it in my heart. One of these teams are going to Las Vegas. It's obvious. I know. I don't care about y'all beating the Steelers. I don't care about the Cowboys beating the Giants. I know what I'm looking at.
This is the game that matters.
Yes. It's the start. It's like the first step to Vegas
of getting the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as that, let's go by scoreboard prediction, man. I know you're feeling confident, man. I know you want to get the monkey off your back, man. But come on, Simons, give me a prediction on what you feel about this game.
I believe it's going to overtime. I'll tell you the truth.
Oh, overtime.
I
Okay,
believe
I'm
this
getting
game.
excited. Let's get the popcorn. He said overtime,
I
guys.
believe
Come on.
this game's going to overtime. I believe that it would be 2023 Dallas. I think that
Ooh.
Dak will throw 2 interceptions. I do. I believe one will be a pick six. I'm telling the truth. I think Tony Pollard's going to have maybe close to 50 yards, no touchdowns. Um, I think the Dallas defense will get a touchdown in this game. I think it's going to be close all the way through. Some people might call this boring, but for Cowboys and Niners fans,
It's competitive.
it's a chess match.
Yeah.
It's going to be I believe that they're going to barely, and when I mean barely walk out of Levi's with a win. And I just think that for the
Really?
49ers, it's just for the Cowboys, it's a finally we feel better. But for the Niners, it's just another
Okay,
game. Let's move on. Like, that's just me.
yeah, it's cool. It's possible the way the game can play out. So it's like, hey, this would be entertaining just to have it go into overtime. But hey, let's see how it plays out, man. Like,
Yeah.
you guys have a issue in the red zone, and that's part of how I feel about you guys. If you guys can step up on your offense, then maybe it could be the ball game that you're talking about.
Right.
And I'm not overlooking you guys. I feel like when we play certain opponents, man, if your offense cannot score in the red zone, we're probably going to have our way with you. But until otherwise, it can go either way. It can be
Right.
like the way you want it to be, but I wouldn't say it's overlooking you guys. I think first half you might be more competitive, but then second half our defense makes the most adjustments. So Dak has to do more.
Right.
That's the problem with Dak Prescott. He just I don't know. The last 2 games he just doesn't seem like in the game. So don't take it like I'm overlooking you
No,
guys.
no, 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 bro.
No, I mean, I'll even step up and admit if I was wrong about the scoreboard, but I'm not saying it's a blowout. It's going to be more like a little shootout. But I feel like it's going to be like a 31-16 type of game because I feel like we might lower you guys,
Right.
but it can change. So it's not like I'm overlooking you guys. I think there's a lot of your flaws that I feel like the Niners can exploit a little bit.
Right.
And that might be the problem right there. But if you guys play up to your potential and you guys pull the upset, it wouldn't surprise me.
And if they make a lot of mistakes, your score wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah,
It
and
would.
that
I'm not
it
lying.
would not. It's not
It
like
would not
I get
surprise me at all. It
no,
would.
and it's not like, and I get that a couple of your fan base are thinking I'm not overlooking you. I'm looking at what I see on the matchup. Like,
Right.
I don't know
They
if you
they
guys
should know better. And I'll say this. If that was the score, I wouldn't be surprised because Dallas just sometimes know how to shoot itself in the foot with bonehead mistakes, not getting first downs when you need it. Like there's just a lot of things. And the Dallas defense sometimes on third down they do some head scratching shit. Like you stop a person on third down, but what's good at stopping a person when you get in a defensive holding call? And it's just like it seems like they at the wrong times they make the worst mistakes. So it could happen, but if Dallas keeps it close, like the last 2
it
postseason
can be
games,
very
even though they lost, if they keep it close, can keep y'all out of the end zone, can keep it level, even with the mistakes of them in the red zone, if they can make you guys play their kind of, I want to say, kind of vanilla game, it could happen. It could
yeah,
absolutely happen.
it's possible. Like if your offense can get better in the red zone, then I would feel like this can be a close game.
Right.
But so it's like, hey, I respect your fan pride and whatever you represent, and I get that it's okay to be optimistic like most Cowboy fans, but like you've said, the one thing that stands out about you is you call it like it is. There's not that many Cowboy fans that feel the same way like you do.
This team can fuck up.
I mean,
I know
dude,
that.
you're not like those Kool-Aid guys. Like the way
No.
you kind of explain it through Twitter or whatever they're saying, bro, you're spot on, bro. They defend Dak like it's his boyfriend.
See, and that's where you miss because they done it with Romo.
Yeah.
I love Dak Prescott, but I'm not a fool. He's running out of time.
And
He's
it's
running out of time. And after Daniel Jones and that fiasco with that contract, you don't want to make this mistake with Dak Prescott. You don't want to do it. People don't like it. They did bring in Trey Lance just to peak and just go, maybe. A lot of Dak Prescott's career starts right now Sunday night. It won't get him the extension, but it's the step to make them go, okay, maybe we can start a little negotiation. You can open the door to the negotiation if you walked out with a convincing win. If you look good in that win, you just can't go out there and throw two INTs because a lot of the fan base is going to start going, hey, Cooper Rush in 5 games was 4-1. Maybe we should start looking at Cooper Rush. They'll start that kind of talk. Like, it matters a lot. Not for Parsons, not for Lamb, not for Gilmore, not for Bland, not for none of those dudes. It's on Dak Prescott.
Oh yeah, it's definitely on. Since you predicted like you guys will win overtime, who would be the player of the game for you? Like just prediction, like you have a good mind. Yeah, if you had to predict.
Dak Prescott.
Oh, so Dak Prescott, not Darren Bland?
I'm gonna tell you why. This game, you notice I keep saying Dak Prescott. I'm not letting this man off the hook at all. He's got to have one of his best games ever.
You're right about that part. Yeah,
He's got no choice. You're the head honcho of the goddamn Dallas Cowboys. Not Parsons, not no one, not Diggs, no one. You're Dak Prescott. You're the quarterback. You got to go out there and the team goes through you. If you look good, if you go out there and look good scoring, that makes the defense better. It makes special teams better. Go out there and just play. No one's saying throw 30 for 30, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Just go out there and just do good. Look good. So at the post game, when they're interviewing a player, it's you. You're the player of the game. It's Dak. If I had to think of one person in this game tomorrow night, it hinges on is Dak Prescott. If you look bad, you're fucked. If you look good, you just open the door to that negotiation.
Yep. That I can see where you're coming from. It has to be Dak for this game. I guess for this, we have to go with both our quarterbacks. I think this would have to be a Brock Purdy type of performance. I think you could say CMC might have a factor, but I think it has to come down to Brock Purdy. So that can be answered by tomorrow night. So we'll see. Grandizer, he ain't the kind of guy to do that.
Will not do that.
He ain't the kind of guy. I know.
Stop asking.
I know Simons for a couple of years. He's from the city where I'm from. He ain't that kind of guy, bro. But he'll tell you how he feels about his Cowboys, and we ain't about that. But hey, man, thank you for your time. I know you got some stuff to do, but hey, let me know when you got some extra free time, and we'll definitely link up, man.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I would like to do. I'll get in touch with you. And maybe we can link up this week, bro, and we can, because you told me your off days, and I would like to have a post game about this.
Oh yeah,
I would like, because I do believe this is. I'll keep saying it. This is one of two. This is absolute one. I won't sit up here and pop fireworks, and it's for me locally and for the people I know, it'll be bragging rights. But I'm not gonna sit on video and we're going to the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna do all of that.
You hear that a lot from all those other fans too. Like,
okay, and I'll let them on Twitter and all them morons do that shit. I'm not that guy, bro.
I hear that shit with Raiders and Cowboy fans or some of our fan base, bro. Like, come on, one game.
Nah.
Like
I'll go UPI, KIA, and all that shit before I sit up and we're going to this. No, it's a step in the right direction.
It's a stepping stone to get into where you need to go.
Exactly. I'm sorry. I don't do that. But
yeah. And he gave you a little of that word, but he didn't want to go. He want to go there, man. This is the Suge Knight, man. He don't play. He don't play around. He don't play around. I mean, but hey, Simons is one of the nicest dudes when you're on his good side, but he don't let his kindness fool you. He would be the Debo of this other community, man.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm good though, man. Yeah.
Oh, so we thank you guys for tuning in. But hey, Simons, bro, like, hey, definitely for anybody else, man, go check out this dude's channel. He is one of the most realistic Cowboys fans you'll ever see. You're not gonna see those Kool-Aid channels, none of that. What do you call those other Cowboy fans?
I don't deal with cow frauds, and I don't deal with 80%ers.
80%ers. He says 80%ers.
80%ers. And for people that don't know, Cowboy Nation is 80%ers. They drink all the Kool-Aid. The Cowboys do
Oh,
no wrong. They're going to beat the 49ers 40-0 and all that crazy shit.
just
I
like
don't do
Cowboys
that.
fans put it out there. He was talking about it like, dude, come on, man.
I don't do that. I love the Cowboys. I'm from the city of Dallas. I'm honest and real about my Cowboy fans. That's why people love my content, because I'll tell you the truth and nothing but the truth about the
No, I mean, I
Cowboys.
rock with you
And
because
it's
you're
the truth.
realist on your team. Like, I don't see none of that other stuff. But hey, didn't I just showed you an interview of one of the wrestlers from your time you grew up watching in Texas?
You had the Missy Hyatt interview,
Yeah, it did,
bro.
huh?
Wow. Like I was thank you for that. I love that. I absolutely love that. The Missy Hyatt interview was great, bro. That was some good shit. I haven't I was wondering about Missy Hyatt. I used to be a strong wrestling fan.
Yeah, you
And
told me about it. Like, you grew up and during the time, like you had a lot of like the Von Erichs
yeah,
and
we
the
had the Von Erichs and Iceman King Parsons, Bruiser Brody, the Fabulous Freebirds, who are my favorite, the original Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal, and Precious Paul Ellering was their manager. Gary Hart was a great manager, the great Kamala. Oh yeah, I'm.
Gino could have been a top of the generation if it wasn't like for the drugs.
Oh, who?
Gino Hernandez, the guy
Oh,
had
Gino Hernandez was the man, bro. He was the man. Like he absolutely like I was a huge growing up in Dallas, being in the era of the world class championship wrestling
I
and
was
going
in
to the
that territory.
sportatorium. Oh yeah, it was something else to go to the sportatorium. You got to see like stunning Steve Austin, which is Stone Cold Steve
Steve
Austin,
Austin, yep.
and you got to see guys like that, and growing up to see these guys become like legendary household names. It was amazing, bro. Like, so that wrestling, I haven't really been into wrestling in I want to say like 15 years, but between world class NWA, UWF, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and things like that, and going into the WWF to the WWE Attitude Era, like I love wrestling. Like I was a old school wrestling nut. That was my thing. That was
Yeah,
absolutely my
in
thing.
the early part of your stage, wrestling was like it was one of the better times, but not
Oh
so
man.
much. But yeah.
Oh yeah, it's kind of it's not the same. But that could be a whole nother segment too.
Yeah, we'll
Like,
do that another
oh
day,
yeah,
man.
but we could get into because I've Kevin Carey, David Fritz, Mike. I can't wait for the movie to come out. I'm really wanting to see this movie called The Iron Claw. It was an honor to meet the brothers. I've met every single one of them in my life. All of them. I've met Fritz. I've met the wife. I've met Carrie, Kevin, David before he died. Like it was an honor to be
Gary
around.
was a top star.
Ric Flair. I've met Ric Flair before. When Ric Flair fought Kerry Von Erich at Texas Stadium, we met him in downtown Dallas the day
So
before
you
the
were
wrestling.
there at that time.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, I was literally
That
in
was like the
Texas Stadium.
WrestleMania for you for that.
Oh, 100%. Before I knew what all of that was, like to see Kerry beat Ric Flair was amazing. Harley Race is one of my favorite wrestlers. Jerry Lawler, like people think the King is just some guy that used to call. No, Jerry Lawler was one of the best wrestlers in the Southern Circuit. So growing up with AWA wrestling, and I've been to the Omni when world class when WCW was NWA wrestling, and all of
Yeah,
that stuff. Oh man,
it
the
was
Rock and
different.
Roll Express.
I
See,
know
I can go on and on with this
no, we
stuff.
can go on and on about this, but
Yeah,
we'll do it another day, man. Whenever you got free time, we'll figure
yeah,
out something, man. But hey,
definitely,
guys,
man, definitely.
thank you guys for tuning in. But hey, me and Simus will head on out, and thank you guys for checking out the collaborate, man. Hey, may the best team win.
Yes, sir.
No injuries, please.
No injuries. Great game.
Great game. But all right, man. Thank you guys for tuning in, and see you guys later.